All right. Welcome to episode 36. It's balena Christmas showtime, and I don't know what could be wrong with someone with 12 volts LEDs around his neck live streaming. And you will be able that we will be able to change his color live. Wait for a
party time.
second.
Yeah,
But
this is
first of
very
all, let
last
me-
minute hacking.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if his eyes cross and he falls over, you'll know why.
So first of all, let me say hello to my colleagues today on the stream. So hi, John. How are you doing?
Doing well. How you doing?
Good, good. Chris, hacking
Well,
last minute
good.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm just
Are you
working
sure
on
that
this
really-
this very questionable Python code to make these LEDs change.
Are you sure that you want to give this in the hands of iShotJR or people like that?
I think we should. Yeah, I think we should.
Oh yeah.
iShotJR, there is no buzzer. Sorry, but
But
There's no buzzer, but we do have a URL to change the color of these LEDs in
Yeah.
theory.
You can't buzz us, but you can blind us.
before the end of the show, you'll be able to make
Yeah.
Chris change color.
I'm just going to paste it right now.
There you go.
and we have Andrew, who didn't join IoT Happy Hour since long time ago. How are you,
Yeah. Hey,
Andrew?
what's up? Great to see everyone. Andrew, content wizard at Balena, and also hardware hacker intern. Because check this out, it works.
Absolutely.
Wait, here's my hand for scale though. It's not as big as Chris's tree.
Oh, I thought it was huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm on
Me
a
too.
budget, so I only have one string, which actually opens up some Q&A that I have for the project creator. So this will be good.
That's awesome.
All
You know,
right.
I saw Gwen Stefani performing the other night in a Christmas tree dress. So,
Did it have addressable LEDs on it?
well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not
next
interested.
iteration. You know, next
Yeah.
party you go to, you could be wearing Gwen Stefani Christmas tree dress. Not that you're not
Okay.
already a party favorite, Andrew.
Let me change the color of Chris. Before getting into what's on your desk, let me share my screen because we have some interesting news this week, actually, that we wanted to share with the community, actually. So first one, it's that after some years of trying to get this feature online, finally, we got it, and it's the organizations. And I don't know, John, if you want to explain what are balena organizations.
Sure. And this blog post just released this week, and you can get complete details there and in the docs. But now any user of Balena Cloud, when you log in, there's now a high-level organization structure. So when you create applications and add members, they're now could be organized under organizations. And there's a couple of cool features, including teams that you can create, so you can sort of bulk add members to applications, which is a nice way to segregate out different roles. Like you could have developer roles and as a team, and you can have all your operators in a team, and they can have access and sort of you can limit the access to members. They don't have to have access to everything in the organization, but can be sort of fine-tuned to match your workflow. It's pretty intuitive. I think that as you go through the steps, you can still add members through applications and things like that. But you'll see an organization that matches your username, but you can create other organizations as well, depending on your use case.
Sorry. I think organizations are great. I just am laughing because I changed Chris's LED color to salmon and actually did it in real time.
It looks salmon, and I love he's got the wall behind him that
Yeah.
perfectly picks up and reflects the
Oh,
color.
this is your fault, Chris.
I mean, that's quite a nice color.
I put cyan now.
Do
Cyan.
check organizations out. It's live right now. You can get going real quick.
Yeah, and if it's the first time in a while, if you refresh Balena Dash, you'll see a little blue banner there also, which includes a handy link to the docs to explain even more.
Nice. Very
All
cool.
right.
And we've got a
Yeah.
couple guests coming on, right, Mark? Do you want to
Exactly. So we will have some guests. Actually, let me get into another thing before getting into the guests. But
Right on.
there is a developer in the community who released a Balena Go API this week.
Ooh.
So if you're a Go developer, and you like Golang, feel free to. Yeah, I will paste the URL here from the GitHub repo. But yeah, you are lucky because during this Christmas you will be able to hack with Go Balena API.
If you did go, smash that like button.
And what do you think about
If you
this
have
logo?
a keyboard, smash that like button, actually.
Do you like this logo, you said, Andrew?
Oh, I do. I love it. The gopher. That's
I'm
the
gonna go
gopher on all
smash
the
that button right
that's
now.
the gopher that's on all the tutorials. If you take like the Go the OG Go tutorials, have that, and then like his friends, and they teach you how to code.
That's a good logo, but it's not Chris good.
Exactly. So talking about Chris logos, let's jump into the balenaHub. If you don't know what's balenaHub, you have previous episodes, release party number 2, or you have to know that this is an IoT edge marketplace application, marketplace for IoT and edge applications. So if you have an application for IoT and edge devices, so feel free to submit your application here. And we have on first position a new application that you should test, that it's actually something that we are going to hack today here, that is the LED pixel controller with a very beautiful and discussed logo on balenaHub.
I don't know how it ended up in position number 1. I mean, that's complete coincidence.
We'll have to figure that out. But I thought we decided to change the name to Led Zeppelin. What happened to that?
I mean, that's a pretty much unbeatable name aside from the copyright concerns, I think.
Anyone out there who has a spare moment, go ahead and PR that change to the YAML file.
David. There's quite a bit of discussion about the logo.
Exactly. And we have some new
Intrigued.
applications.
Someone keeps trying to turn me to brown, which is,
That's
I
me.
don't know
It's
what
there.
brown looks like. I can see the logs scrolling past all the requests.
Are you watching the
Brown.
logs from your...
Yeah.
Okay. It will be good then later you can share your screen and show what's going on.
I just want you looking your best, Chris.
Yeah.
I
Brown
think that's either
really
salmon or
shows
brown.
off my beauty.
Yeah. Oh, I shot JR too. Great minds. Like,
All right, so we have 2 more new applications like InkyShot here available, and as well Balena RGB Xmas 3 as well, made by another developer from the community who actually, let me get here, who actually is using this, there is no picture here. Maybe we can get here. This Christmas tree from PyHut that can be controlled by a Balena container. So if you want to play with the type, if you don't have budget to get into the LEDs that we are going to introduce today, maybe you can play with this, and it's on balenaHub. Or you can play with the LED pixel controller, more well known as Led Zeppelin internally. And let me invite one of our community developers this week that will join the stream before getting on what's on your desk, who's Billy. Billy, you're mute, but feel free to unmute yourself and introduce yourself, please.
hey, Billy.
Hello.
Hey, Bill.
Good morning, gentlemen. So
Yo.
great to be with you.
Oops.
And apologies for being a little bit late, but my name is Billy Glenn. I am in the San Francisco Bay Area in California, and a delighted user of some Balena technologies. So certainly, as we'll talk about today, the Fade Candy LED controller and the setup there, but all kinds of stuff across the whole portfolio. So super excited to be here.
Super
Glad to
cool.
have you.
Thanks for joining, Billy.
You bet. I tried to get a setup here where we might see the tree, which is deployed out front on the deck, but with the morning light here, it makes for pretty heinous video. I should have stayed in my man cave where I have green screen and
Nice.
But that's the
Well, that's
magic of
okay.
Balena, that it's always night on one of the streamers and day
You bet.
for others. So that's the magic.
absolutely.
Let's
It's all right,
do-
because I've decorated myself, and Andrew's got his tree going there as well. So We've got plenty of LEDs.
You bet.
I have a
Oh,
you guys keep dropping hints about the price of these LED strings. What is the price of an LED string?
depends on the quality, right? And what
Yeah,
you want it to do.
But if I want to pick up one of those, what's
Like
going to set me back?
I think just the LEDs themselves were like £15 in November, and now they're £30 here for a string of 50. I don't know what they're like where you are, Billy.
They're a little cheaper if you buy them 10 at a time, I've realized.
Oh yeah.
But those
I
are like
think
the 25 LED per string, right? So you end up
50, yeah. They're the
50,
strings
okay.
I was buying.
That's a lot.
So I got 10 strings of 50 for 130 US, so that's about
Not bad.
$13 a string.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Are they outdoor rated?
Yeah, waterproof.
Nice.
Put them in your fish tank.
Fist bump you.
Oh,
Fist
that's
bump
cool.
you if I could. It's a good choice.
A funny story on that, though, it does not rain nearly enough here in California. You may have seen some of the wildfire debacles we had over the summer, but it never rains here. But 15 minutes after I deployed my rig outside, it started raining. So I have got the most ghetto setup where there's a little plastic shoebox kind of thing, and it's elevated in there in case some water happens to get in. I've got little drip loops of my cables that are coming out the sides.
Oh, nice.
But it's rained more in the week since I set it up than it has in the last probably of 6 months at least.
Maybe that's a signal, no? That's a sign that if you need rain, no, what do you need to do?
Yeah, you put something sensitive outdoors.
Hey, Billy, you have a fan. His name's Rahul.
Hey, all right. And how do I interact with both the feed? I see we've got the private chat, but
Yeah, maybe the best, it's to be on YouTube as well and comment there automatically if you can.
got it.
But there are the comments. Can you see comments on the top right of your screen?
I can.
No, but probably you can't. You cannot do it. So
all right, I
maybe-
can see them.
I think you're right the first time. Just go ahead and open up the stream and interact.
Yeah, that's what I do.
chat there.
Awesome. I'll be there
Good to
Monday.
have you, man.
Good to be here.
So let's do one thing. Let's play some icebreaker that we usually play at the IoT Happy Hour here at Balena. That it's what's on your desk. But first of all, I don't know if you want to get into the recorded jingle or you want to sing it, Chris.
Can we? Okay, go on. Let's sing it. Let's. I wasn't ready for that.
The mother of all arm twists.
I have it here to play it. Up to you.
Okay, you have to put the thing on the screen. What's on your desk?
Hey, that's good.
That was
I don't know who does that. I mean, yeah.
all right.
Just before we get into that, I'm going to share the link to Billy's forum post, which has got lots of awesome photos of his setup. I'll put that in the chat there.
All right. So, Billy, we play a game to know what's on the desk of our guests during the IoT Happy Hour. So, you have something special on your desk that you can share actually on the stream.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, and like I said, I should have taken this call from my COVID-induced man cave basement office. My wife commandeered the proper office here upstairs. My 9-year-old daughter is working in the living room, so I got relegated to the basement. But I've got a sweet setup down there, all within arm's reach. I have the camping gear, the toilet paper, and the wine rack. So that's pretty awesome.
All you need.
What else?
But
Wow.
But exactly, I don't even need to leave. But I would totally show you my desk because I have all kinds of interesting things. Balena now, interestingly, but maybe even in that thread that Chris shared, we might find a photo of it. Thanks to Chris, because of this project, inspired a whole additional tangent for me of getting into 3D printing. And I found this awesome Apple Watch charger, which is a thing from the Addams family. So I think somewhere in one of those one of those
Oh, I
photos.
remember that.
You'll see my very messy desk, but you'll see a cool kind of Apple Watch charger.
Cool.
That's one of the more fun
this is
things
you
on my
on the
desk.
I just read through your whole forum LED woes last night. What an epic! And then that shot that you did from outside. Did you take that with the drone?
Yeah.
Wow. How do I apply? Here we go. Soft clap for you, man. That's legit. Y'all need to look through that forum. Go past the friction. We remove the friction. The project's a success. But look at those end photo shots. I mean, those are beautiful. Yeah. That's some outdoor Christmas goals that I'd like to try and nail at some point.
That's what induced me to.
I have one string
to buy the 10 strings.
I got big plans. Do you have like an online course or something that I can take?
I think we could develop one at this point.
There you go.
I got to figure out how to get back to the. It's one of these hundreds of tabs I have, and I'm certain. got the YouTube channel, and I can see myself from a couple minutes ago, but I'm trying to get back to the studio. Hey, there's my balena Sense. There's my Home Assistant dashboard.
Chris, is someone trying to do you harm? Like, your lights are really bright, man.
Yeah, I know. It feels warm.
Whoever that is, blinding is not a legit CSS color code. Stop.
It's funny, people's suggestions. Neon is not valid. Neon red, neon blue. But somehow rosy brown is valid.
Oh. Ooh. What just happened there?
I don't know if we lost Billy for a sec.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew, let's keep going. So what's on your desk, Andrew?
For me,
a solo layout for you.
I picked up some Sonoff wireless addressable switches for the house. I just redid some lighting in my workshop, and I don't want to walk 10 feet over and switch it on and off. So I'd love to be able to do that using Home Assistant and Balena. So I'm about to take a couple weeks off here for the holiday, rest, recharge, and dink around in the garage. So hopefully I can report back on some success there.
Cool.
Yeah, if anyone has a tutorial for me, feel free. I can't wait to figure this out, feel my way through it.
Those are super cool, super useful.
And Home Assistant came out with a new device I saw.
Nice.
Yeah, the blue thing.
The blue.
The blue thing, yeah.
It's a little pricey at $140 US, but they have a nice, this little reversible back, so you can hide the ports on it if you want. Like, they thought about some of the design elements since the thing's going to be out, where people live. But it's got quite a bit of horsepower too.
It was an Odroid, isn't it?
I believe so.
All right, John, what's on your desk?
Not too much new, but I have to whisper this part because I got my wife some connected tools, so I got her a Ring to go with some Echo Shows. And they say you're supposed to turn off the power when you install this, but I'm like, yeah, doorbell's like what, 12 volts? That's not going to kill me. But I have to wait for a day when it's above 20 degrees, so my fingers don't get numb.
Oh man!
But I'm really curious to see how some of the features of the Ring work. And obviously, it's a proprietary device, but on some of these different devices throughout the house. So I'm a little psyched about that. It was on sale at Amazon.
Cool.
I haven't even taken it out of the box.
Chris, what's on your desk?
All
right.
Or on the floor.
On the floor.
What's on your floor?
He's moving. Give him a break. He's moving.
I mean, like, most of the cool stuff is on the floor, to be fair. That's where my whole LED testing rig is. So I was adding device support. So like
I know she's right. This is what Chris said before doing an eclipse with LEDs. So
yeah, it's not going to kill me.
So I've got a fin that's from the floor, and then a Jetson Nano, which is from the floor right now.
Cool. Yeah.
From the floor.
What else? The Pi 4 is on the floor, maybe. Yeah, here we go. There's a Pi 4.
It's like
okay.
And then
all available at fromthefloor.com.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, can I
Like
give
a
some
well-known
props
high street retailer.
to whoever's piloting my tree right now? Like, you clearly know what you're doing. I don't.
Oh, I didn't know your tree was under control as
keep it
well.
up. Yeah, I'll post the link again. I think, but with the VPN function of the device, only one person can hop in at a time, right?
Yeah, that's right. I think
Okay, so
they'll be able to see the no VNC screen, but it will only
Yeah.
allow one current connection, I think.
hop on in there.
This is yours, Andrew?
Yeah, please be
Alright.
gentle. Let me close this window.
But yours will be blinking all the time, or that can be.
You have to learn how to speak Gladiator. I mean, that's an interesting app where
Okay.
they got it. It
And
has
it's
a
got
bunch
the
of
full
different.
setup running. I've just got some dodgy script that I hacked together in the 10 minutes before the show started.
This
Okay,
is
let me show you.
my 1/8 scale Chris full bore tree. You have 8 strings, right? You have like every fade candy set up.
No, I haven't used all of them. I've used 5 strings. So I've got 250.
Okay, right on. So someone has yet to hit what? It's 7 or 8 max on the little guy.
No, it's 8, I think. 8.
Yeah.
I think the most you can do is 8 strings of 64, but since they come in 50s, it's like 8 strings of 50, I guess.
Oh,
So
right.
400.
The lane starts with 0.
And the burning question is, can one of them be out and they still remain on?
I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah. We're well past those days,
Worth-
which is great.
Where's
That
the
stunk.
price? Right there.
Yeah.
90s kid reporting in here. That stunk, man. Then that one,
No,
down the line blew out and the whole
how they
party was
still-
over.
That's how they still sell the trees. I mean, every year I bring my tree out and half the things are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, LED.
So I was going to get the 3 or 4 additional strings, but since Amazon started price gouging or something, or the sellers, like as it got closer to Christmas, the price started getting higher and higher. I should have
Yeah,
bought them
same.
in September.
So I was like, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good with one. Wait, so is the rest of your setup just on your tree somewhere, Chris?
Yeah. Well,
One that
it's
we were
like
reminding you of last year?
I had this one string up, one string here set up just to fine tune the project and do some updates, but then I'll put the tree up after today. And
Right
put all
on.
the strings on the tree.
And I'll never
you-
forget that meeting, man, where like you're sitting in front of your Christmas tree and then someone just set it to like full on white, 100%. It looked like we just disappeared into the void. We're like, where did our colleague go?
And then like strobe.
He's gone.
But yeah, like you could still see some green on my Christmas tree, so there's probably more LEDs to add.
Right on.
If you can still see the tree, there's something going wrong.
Is Billy coming back?
I don't know. He's
No, he's
chatting,
in the
but,
chat, though.
He's in the chat,
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
he's still
There we go.
frozen here.
There he
No,
is.
he's still frozen. Billy, feel free to join again.
What's on your tree? Yeah, that should be our holiday
What's on your
thing
tree?
next year. Should be a contest.
Yeah.
That's what we should do.
That's a good idea.
Actually, that would be really fun toward the holiday or any really good reason to. I mean, if you hack on any kind of these projects, put your own flavor, your own twist to it, feel free to submit it to the hub. I mean, that's the best place to get other people to try it out or even, get inspired, fork it, try their own rev. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. So actually, this is how I learned about this. And yeah, let me bring this out. So this is how I learned about this project. It's because I was on support, and Billy was introducing an issue about this project. He was trying to connect, his Christmas trees. And actually, randomly, I was with Chris, I guess, or Chris was after me on support, I guess. And this is how I discovered this project that was, on the blog a year ago. Actually, in 1 year, a lot of things happened, right? And I think it's a great opportunity to have Billy and Chris and actually Andrew hacking real time about controlling your Christmas tree. What can you tell more about this project, gentlemen?
Well, I guess I can give my initial, I started this project 2 years ago, and I just wanted to create an easy way for people to get up and running with these LED strings. Just so it's something you can deploy, and then you get some nice settings, and you can do some effects and things like that without having to configure lots of software. And I found this software called Gladiator online, and weirdly, the site's been down for quite a long time. But it didn't sort of work out the box with the Fade Candy board, which is like a handy little thing to interface these with a Raspberry Pi. And so I built this balena stack with a few different containers and like a VNC front end, so you ultimately get web control. You get a web VNC, and you can use that to connect, and you can see the Gladiator software, which lets you do all sorts of patterns, as you can see on Andrew's tree right now. And then, so the blog post goes into detail about the hardware setup and the wiring you need to do, and there's like a 3D printed case design as well. So it's like an all-in-one complete project. And so Billy's here because he went through the whole. He wasn't fazed by my like 10,000 word thesis that I wrote on the subject and went through.
I was not. In fact, I was intrigued by it. I felt your pain when you said you got a little grief over it. I'm like, this is exactly what this project needs. In fact, I've got a couple questions about which orientation you put those JST connectors.
Yeah. So there's a couple of blog posts. There's the one more recently from last year, and then there's a prior one to the year earlier than that. And it's sort of, I do a bit of development each year, so it gets a bit better every year.
I forgot that you made the one last year, even though I think I was the one who hit publish on it. So I totally used the one from a couple years ago, but it made me appreciate the extra work that you did, because there were some steps where you had to boot it all up. Wait, first do the balena steps, get all set up, get your app pushed. But now you can use deploy with balena. You had to do some steps to like get the serial number from your Fade Candy board, put it into whatnot, add Gladiator after the fact. As you said, now that Link 404s, I mean, the whole package is much smoother. Works right out of the box.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was delighted by some of that. I got to those steps in the instructions. I'm like, wait a minute, but I can already see my Fade Candy in the controller. What? I haven't even edited that file yet.
It was so easy that I thought I messed it up. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it was, the path was so smooth. I was like, wait, is it supposed to be this smooth? I thought the soldering was probably the hardest part, which actually I cheated because I wasn't. So Chris, you might be upset by this, but I did not use my full-on power supply. I actually used a little barrel jack because I only had one string.
Oh, that works fine.
Yeah, so I hacked together a little thing to interface with the Fade Candy board. And then at some point, I think my daughter interrupted me, and I just forgot to solder it, so they're actually just twisted on.
Oh, no.
We're okay. Nothing's burning. We're all right.
I got to say, in the spirit of continual learning and always something around the corner, as I was soldering up the Fade Candy board, and I'm using the terminals at the end, the input-output channels, I'm like, but why am I not using the hacker port that's right above it, right? There's all those pads, like, it's probably like a JTAG interface or something, but hacker port. I need to get me some of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and move my camera over to see what you're talking about. My setup is nickety.
Yes, please.
No, it's too far. I can't.
Don't electrocute yourself.
Yeah, mine's stuck down.
Yeah,
darn.
My two new Fade Candies just arrived yesterday.
Nice.
Oh,
maybe you should put one up to the screen so people can see what we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, hang on. I'll step away. I'll be right back.
All right.
All right. Cool. Let me introduce a new developer from the community in the stream.
Hey, Adam. How are you?
Here, Adam Butler. How are you, Adam?
I'm really good. Yeah, it's the end of the week. I'm feeling good.
Congrats for making it through
What have I missed so far?
Well, we made a Once on Your Desk with a special song, with a special jingle, and now we were checking this project, hacking the Christmas lights. And meanwhile, I was so let me give more context. Meanwhile, I was discovering these Chris blog posts and Billy introducing issues and Chris helping him to hack his Christmas tree. Actually, I discovered on Twitter that Adam was a huge fan of balena and had tons of Raspberry Pis with balena, and actually was hacking a Christmas tree with a Pi Zero.
Nice.
So this is why we invited him on the stream today.
First
of all, let's maybe finish with Billy. If you can show, yeah.
Oh!
It's an unboxing video.
Unwrapping.
Bring a tool. There we go.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Oh, and a little matrix, because you can never have enough LEDs.
You guys throw it
I'm
all
getting-
out. Is the matrix? Would you use that for like the star, the tree topper? Is that the idea?
There you go. Hey, that's a great suggestion. Any other alternatives? Post them in the chat.
I was gonna 3D print in gold the star from the Mario games for the top of our tree.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness,
that'd be cool.
that's a great idea, Adam.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I
Billy.
see.
Oh, yours is
It's the
different.
hacker port.
The
Whoa,
hacker port.
How do you have those?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, it's on the other side. Oh, I see. It's the other side. That's cool.
So you can solder to those pads instead.
Right. Looks like you've got a clock input, and like when the out of the box functionality isn't enough, you can really get up inside its business.
The Fade Candy is also all open source, isn't it? So you can actually, like the hardware design as well, is all published. So I was wondering if maybe there's an opportunity to make a custom board that's got like the JST connectors already mounted and like the input for the power supply. That'd be quite neat.
Right. And Chris, just another quick shout out before we pivot. Yeah, it was mentioned by Andrew, you took so much undifferentiated heavy lifting off the table. Like there is a lot of surface area here in this project, and you made it turnkey. So it's been great to continue to explore. Once you're up and running, it's fine to say, oh, let's dig in a little more. But when you're just trying to make the LEDs light up, that is not the time you're trying to figure out, can ArtNet talk to Fade Candy, and what channel is it on? What universe am I in? Right?
Exactly. Well, and it lets you think of other solutions too, right? Like my project, I actually named it Festive Sign. Clearly, I'm failing because this is clearly not a sign; it's a tree. But the general idea is to actually use this for more of a woodworking project that the sign actually has the LEDs in the background. So I can hang it up on the front of the house, add it to the Christmas remix. But yeah, kudos to you, man, because the less time we have to worry about what's connecting to what services are running, the more time we can actually like build a cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, guys. It's nice to see people building it and having fun with it at the same time. And then, as you say, Andrew, it doesn't have to be just Christmas. Like once you've unlocked the ability to control these LEDs, you can do all sorts of things with them.
Yep, like troll your friends.
Exactly.
Well, you can create a happy 2021 sign, and then in a year you can update it to 2022.
We'll skip 2020 though. No need to celebrate that.
It's already New Year's is already past for 2020.
Yeah.
All right. So Adam, tell us more about your project. Maybe should I activate your screen?
Your green screen, please.
So yeah, I'm actually quite new to balena, and I kind of discovered it recently, and it's been my savior as somebody who has far too many Raspberry Pis. And the Christmas tree was kind of a bit of a prototype for kind of learning balena, and I wrote this talk about it, and I thought I'd kind of share that with you lot, if you indulge me. So yeah, first of all, hello, my name's Adam. It's nice to be with you today, and thank you for inviting me along. I do a lot of hardware hacking. A lot of weird and kind of wonderful things like this taxidermy squirrel I connected to the internet here, and dispensing M&Ms when pull requests emerge, and my Raspberry Pi security alarm, and my beloved homemade arcade machine, which is all Raspberry Pi based.
Wow.
So you might think that this is Pac-Man based on the arcade machine, but what this actually is it's a pie chart of the amount of my annual income I spend on Raspberry Pis. It's a lot. And yeah, I was tweeting the other day that kind of this has been my savior, as I've got kind of all of these different services running, whether it's my Unify server or NAS or kind of the arcade machine or the driver for my 3D printer. And like every time I log into them, they're kind of just these snowflake servers where I can't remember how they're configured. They're all unique. They're not centrally managed anywhere. And yeah, this has been really helpful. So my prototype for kind of learning balena a little bit was to take these LED lights. I bought these earlier this year.
Awesome.
Wow.
And I use this in
look at that.
It's so cool. They're so awesome, and just like I love creative coding, so it's like so much fun to play with. But yeah, I mean, earlier this year, we in the UK kind of had this clap for carers thing. So I bought these for that purpose, where sort of built this site for people to put their messages up for the key workers, like the NHS. And then that went up in my window, and people could, design and upload their own messages. And every evening, this would kind of go on in my street, and it was a bit of fun.
Cool. People are going to want the URL to that now.
Yeah, if you do, unfortunately, it's not running anymore. But you can view the project and all of the submissions on nhs.lab.io.
Nice work.
So, yeah, I kind of went to repurpose the same hardware this year. I got these amazing LED lights from Pimeroni, and I'm going to put them on my Christmas tree. But kind of hit this problem straight away, SSH into it, and I'm kind of like logging into this device, which is called Death Clock from a random old project. I've got the default credentials on it, so it's not secured. I've got this random script running on it. I can't remember why or where it is, or how it's like running on boot. And I figured I kind of need a better way of doing this. So Balena to the rescue. So I'm gonna actually show you the project now. If I switch over, you should be able to see the tree now.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice tree.
So
I'm
I
loving how
have to,
festive this stream is. Like, there's no disappointment.
I have to show you like my favorite feature of the tree, other than the lights, is can you see that there?
What's that?
What are we looking at? There's a couple things in the frame.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle. That ornament?
Yeah.
Is it a microcontroller or a flash drive?
It's a little RAM module. It's my
I see.
I love puns as well.
That's legit.
It's my Christmas memories.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh,
But yeah, just had a load of fun sort of programming this tree and making some custom animations for it. So kind of an example of one of my animations. So I'm going to put on my browser here. It's going to get lots of windows. Okay, we're fine. We're out of the matrix. So I got my dashboard here, and we got the kind of obvious things within the environment variable of I can control my LED brightness here, so just dim it down when we're watching films and things like that. But the funnest part of this is kind of the creative coding bit of like writing my own animations. So I want to show you one. I'm going to add who's a fan here of Knight Rider?
Oh, yeah.
Kit.
So you remember like the lights on the car kit,
Oh,
like at the front? Well, of course, my tree has a Knight Rider mode. I mean, does yours not?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna set Knight Rider to true on there. Good, we're on full brightness. So I've got my LED count set here to 300. Whilst I'm kind of waiting for that to upload, just want to let you know this is all on GitHub. You can download it, and these lights are really inexpensive as well. So go grab yourself some. But hopefully that will kick in a second, and you'll see the custom animation for the Knight Rider mode.
And so, Adam, we're getting ready to add your project to Hub as well, aren't we? I believe.
Yes. Yeah, it would be even easier to add. Yes.
Are you going to call it the LED kit, but kit spelled like the Knight Rider?
Oh. So yeah, here we go. This is Knight Rider mode. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. I hear the theme song in my head.
Same. That's awesome.
Where are you, David Hasselhoff?
And this
Whoever-
works with a byte 0.
Oh, yeah. Is that all off a 0?
This is a 0, or because that was fast.
My question is
what-
for you, Adam.
I couldn't hear the question. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, are you running that all off a Pi 0?
Yeah, it's all off of Pi 0. It handles it like exceptionally well. The library is probably testament like to how efficiently it's been written. But yeah, it runs fantastically on a Pi.
Whoever's tree jaying right now has some very festive tastes.
So let me bring you back up. Okay, good. I can see everything now. So yeah, these lights, if you want to grab yourself some lights, I highly recommend Pi Moroni. They're my favorite hardware shop. I probably spent way too much money with them. But they're relatively inexpensive as well. So this is 60 pixels per meter for £14 or something. And you can get them off like AliExpress and things like that, even cheaper.
Cool.
Again, and wiring them super easy. You hook up power, 5 volts. It needs these lights. You need about an amp of power per 150 LEDs. So I think I'm running this off a 3 amp power supply, which is fine. It can run it sort of on white in full brightness. And then just hook up the data pins to pin 18 on the Raspberry Pi, hit deploy on this this GitHub README here, and kind of everything just works. And lastly, just to kind of wrap up on this, here's a little bit of a kind of preview into what the actual code for this looks like. It's all in Python. It uses a library written by Pi Moroni, and this is kind of one of their default animations here. But they're just a ton of fun to write sort of on their own as well. So yeah, really accessible to kind of play with as well. And the Docker file for this couldn't be simpler. One thing to point out that I did need to change in the Docker file from the Python Hello World example is that it needs to be the build version of Python, because it requires GCC to be able to compile the Python library for lights. So that's a little bit of a gotcha there. And yeah, I'm just really glad I kind of found this new tool and it just works. And yeah, no hint here. But yeah, thank you very much for having me. And yeah, I'd love to tell you more.
Yeah, we will need to call Santa to ship to Adam right? What do you think, guys?
So well, I have many questions, but the one that came up in mind because I was looking at the group chat or the community chat. Is there a difference between UK and American Christmas trees, like stylistic difference?
I don't really know American Christmas trees. I mean, our Christmas tree is quite tacky. We were having a conversation about this yesterday when we went out. It's just like, my wife said, everyone else's Christmas tree is so much classier. And I was like, ours is fun. Fun's better, right? I don't mind. I don't think many people put RAM modules on their Christmas trees. I just like a good pun.
It has a bit of a Charlie Brown Christmas tree look.
Yeah. That's a good call.
So and what could be better than that?
Which is, it's heartwarming, just, the sympathy it generates.
Absolutely.
Have any of you played around with the Makey at all?
No.
Yes.
You can I think the thing most people have seen is like playing a piano on the bananas with the Makey. It's kind of allows you to make anything organic, capacitive touch.
Oh, interesting.
And yeah, a few years ago, I hooked the Makey up to the tree by drilling into its base and putting a probe in it, so that I could stroke the tree and it played music.
That's cool.
Who doesn't want
video
that?
I gotta see. Do you have it recorded? I gotta watch that. That's interesting.
I'll make sure I tweet out a video to that if you want to look at it later on.
That's pretty cool.
We are hacking here, sorry.
Yeah, like Mark and I are in the background trying to get Adam's app live on Hub.
Nice.
If you see us with furrowed brows looking at the screen, that's because we're trying to work out why it's not working.
Yeah. Keep going, Andrew.
It's not because you're getting electrocuted. This is Tucker showed up meowing. He stars in my blog post about how my cat helped me create a better IoT application, which actually, and Adam, you could probably talk to this, going from a Raspberry Pi platform and sort of, typical binaries to converting to a Docker and containerized application to ultimately to Balena. And then you talk a little bit about some of that in your experience.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to do a lot of prototyping on the Pi, but I tend to actually convert stuff over to like Arduino if it's sort of staying permanently for little
Right.
like microcontroller projects. So I just find it a really good prototyping environment. But you know, SSHing in and kind of editing stuff there. I mean, I'm not like a hardcore developer. I don't use Vim. Like I mess up the key bindings and all sorts. So like being able to work in my own environment and just be able to push it up. But like the biggest thing is when you pick it up after 6 months of not working on the project and you've completely forgotten like where anything is, what the dependencies are, like what scripts you got running in the background. Like that's been my headache for a few years with all of the devices that I'm running. So I use Docker a lot in my work, and like I don't know why I haven't Dockerized like my IoT things before. It just makes it so much more maintainable.
Yeah, and I started using the balena.yaml file for which when you're using deploy with Balena, it's the way that you pull your environmental variables for your devices in. Because I had a similar problem after a year's worth of creating Balena applications. I'd be like, what were the settings that I needed for this thing? What were the device? What was the DT overlay? I had no idea. So, now whenever I create a project, I create that file, which is basically an environmental file, and it's slightly on steroids when you submit something to balenaHub. But that piece as well, because we all have like, what's on this Pi? What's on this thing? And what was I thinking? And sort of be able to take that snapshot, even if you move on to other things later. I find that combination is like, I can be successful with my application that I want to resurrect for whatever reason. Like this, right? Like you might not touch this Christmas tree app for another year, and it'd be like, what did I do?
I booted this up, and I was just like, doing a network scan just to like find out what its address was, and I was like, Def Clock. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that project. Like forever ago.
Yeah, and when for anyone who doesn't use GitHub, and I can't imagine anybody doesn't, but it's also you have your points of reference that not only you can use share, but often I find my number one collaborator is myself. Is a later version of myself. So being able to sort of pull all those things together and it's pretty good. And I find if I do regular Docker development too, like not on an IoT device, I'm already there, or I go from one step to the other. It's a great way. In fact, I do pretty much all my development and prototyping now on the Pi rather than like in a VM or on my workstation. If something requires me to install something, I'm like, I'm gonna create an application for that and do it.
Hey, Billy, I have a question for you. And Adam, feel free to chime in too. I'm a little more familiar with Billy's work because I literally studied the forum post yesterday of his whole struggle toward maximum success. But now that you have that tree going, I would imagine you have like an entire fleet of Christmas lights under your command on Balena Cloud, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and more to be built for sure.
That's wild. That's what we want to see, because it seems so fun and simple for like hobbyist hackers and whatnot, but it's kind of cool that same pattern can be done in the real world too. Someone who wants to like spin up multiple applications, monitor it all from one place, develop on it, for most part friction free. Like it's pretty sweet. Like I'm inspired as well. Like I was saying, like now that I know I can do this, like why not do a full on tree, kind of like the one that you and Adam have built? Why not get some outdoor rated ones to do the stuff outside? Why not impress / make my neighbors super jealous? Like the sky's the limit.
Absolutely.
And
talk about inspiration. Just seeing and this was already my plan, but seeing his matrix there with the messages and the scrolling images,
cool.
that is absolutely. So I figure with 400 LEDs, I can make 25 by 16 matrix. And, you know, that's pretty big. So if anybody's got ideas, at first I thought, I'll just string together. I'll build a PVC frame and I'll just string the strands across it. That's going to be kind of sloppy looking. Then I, get on the YouTubes and like, well, get this sheet of plywood and drill 400 holes in it. And, okay.
So put it up on the roof.
If anybody's got an idea for how to make a nice clean matrix out of LEDs on a string. Now, Adam had some of the strips, which are obviously easier.
I didn't want to cut the strips, so I made it extra hard for myself by zigzagging them, so they went like left and then right and then left, and then I had to normalize it all to be able to write the code for it. So I had to reverse the sort of the matrix grid on every other line, and then say exclude these lights because they're not shown on the way down. And yeah.
So I don't know what you're.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, yeah. So I know for the
Chris
LED
does some of that with the project as well, because the strings go down and then back up the tree, but then you map it so that if you're doing a fade, it goes from top to bottom. And
right on.
I remember that completely doing my head in when I was first trying to work out how to lay everything out. But that's a good point, actually, because that's another improvement I want to make, is so you can type in your matrix and how it's set up and have it produce the Gladiator profile and the ArtNet stuff.
Yes, please, because that's literally what I'm trying to segue into. If one of you gentlemen could do a crash course on, so it's the ArtNet server _FC Python file, right? That has the big matrix.
Yes.
And I opened that up and I'm like, nah, I'm done. I cracked open a drink and I'm like, nah, this is not for 10 p.m. on Thursday.
It's super configurable though, which is what makes it good. Because although these are strings of 50, I've got mine configured into it's 0 to 24, and then 25 to 50 goes back up, and it still renders that as two side-by-side columns.
So if I know I have 50, do I just get rid of? I only keep 0 through 50 on the matrix.
Yeah, that's all you would need. And then you could arrange the matrix in what closest, I'm not sure what would resemble your tree there. It's not really an organized setup, but
kind of looks like a turkey.
Yeah.
So I can share screen too if folks want to get some context here.
But what I was also going to mention, I think it was maybe BitLooney's lab on YouTube. He did a matrix where he'd used the strings, but he cut out some sheets and put the LEDs in, and he had ping pong balls on the LEDs.
Yes,
and it created this huge uniform effect that was quite nice.
Exactly. And then I saw another project with an IKEA frame where it was maybe a 2-inch deep frame, and you strung it on the back of the frame and then painted some frosting over the glass. So I'm kind of looking at that as well.
I like that.
I'm pretty sure I have that frame. I know the project. Yeah, awesome. I don't know whether any of you play the game Portal, but the plan is. I bought this frame to take out the glass, change it to acrylic, and make one of those giant signs when you walk into the test chambers. So it's on the list. There are so many things on the list.
Adam, we're connecting when this is over, man.
That's what we like to hear. We can't wait for the collaboration.
Yeah, Adam, I want to see your video game.
Sorry, talking about mapping matrix, I assume you guys must have had Sebly Delayo on the show before, right? He does lots of stuff with lasers. He's awesome. But he did this really interesting mapping thing at a conference I went to before, where so everyone went to this website and they held up their phones, they held them towards the stage, and he flashed unique binary on-off on the screens on every single person's phone, and then the camera looking at the stage looked at every single phone as if it was a pixel, and kind of worked out it knows its location and knows how to contact it now because it's over the network. And then so when that was all calibrated, basically created a room size sort of screen matrix and had Nyan Cat just go across the audience.
Wow.
So yeah, awesome. really interesting approach to mapping. That's might be worth.
Maybe that'll show up at stadiums instead of the wave.
I think I did see something along those lines where someone has set up a mapping system where you like throw the LEDs onto the tree and then point a camera at it, and then it individually turns on each pixel and then records like the coordinates of where that pixel is.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's
Wow.
brilliant.
I can't. That was probably a couple of years ago when I was first looking at doing this one, but someone had definitely done that as well, which is a cool approach.
Particularly in a Christmas tree where it's random.
Yeah,
Right.
where it's hard to arrange things in a nice, organized way.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
I can't help but think that the LEDs around Chris are like a sign of how much people are digging what he's saying. So that if you're saying something that no one agrees with, it's red. And then as
It's
you
been
like,
red for quite a while.
as you're vibing and you're talking about stuff that people are digging, it'll turn green eventually.
I did like how it was green throughout his whole dialogue about the Matrix.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's like the internet approves.
Sentiment analysis in
There we
action.
go.
There we go.
Chris passes.
Approved. All right. We are
Yeah,
trying to.
I think that would be a really cool thing to investigate next time. It's just how to make the mapping a lot easier, especially for the more newbie folks like myself. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
no, maybe at
We
some
could
point
just
I'll
say-
dig in.
Yeah, you could just say I've got 50 LEDs, and then it would just cycle through 50 and know that like it needs to look for those somewhere on the camera, and then not worry about the other 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe I'll do that next week.
Here we go.
All right. If everything is correct, we should have a new hub, a new application on the hub.
Ooh. Someone
Yeah.
share
Yes.
screen.
Yeah. Well, it's here. Let me share my screen. And if you were amazed by Adam's application, here it is. So it's a 5 volts LED Xmas tree. Actually, yesterday I was searching in Barcelona 5 volt LED stripes, but I couldn't find them on the shops that I visited. So sadly, I couldn't reproduce myself with the stripe. But yeah, you can do it at home if you have a 5 volt stripe. And if you want to go to the Chris, Billy's, Andrew's, you can get into the LED pixel controller.
Yeah. I don't know what the sorting algorithm is, but like, it seems to be biased towards LED projects right now.
Logo quality.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Logo
Yeah, actually, the challenge accepted, I guess. Because like the way that I have it set up is I'm actually not using the big power supply. I'm trying to keep it like very like minimalist, like barrel jack, low voltage as possible for like a sign. So I guess I'll try and whip up something and pull a Chris and go into the shop and do something beautiful with hardwood. I'll make a festive, sign happen.
What's the power voltage that you use, Chris, Billy, and Andrew?
So I think the one in my project is a 5 volt 18 amp supply, which is enough for the 250. But I noticed Billy was talking about getting a 30 amp one.
Yeah, I think the stock one, and that I mentioned, like I need some new skills now. I got to get into the 3D modeling because I think that I'll have to reimagine the case a little bit for that beefier power supply.
Yeah.
I'm operating under MVL, minimum viable lighting. So I'm actually just thinking, I still need to figure out my power situation. My Pi is powered separately, just to make sure that things were working. And then the LED is powered by a barrel jack, like little 3 amp thing that it came with.
Right.
So I'm gonna try and figure out what the best route is here. And then someone's gonna write to me, okay, that's all well and done. Now print a 3D case for it. And I'll be like, all right, dude, sure. We'll have that conversation later.
So what power supply do you use for yours, Adam?
It's just a 3 amp. Yeah, I find these lights are like really efficient. You can run a lot off them. So yeah, 3 amp, 300 LEDs. I can run them on full brightness on white. So they're superb.
Cool.
I think you can even get away with running about 50 of them straight off the 5 volt, straight from the Pi as well.
I was going to say,
yeah.
So it might be worth measuring, Billy, to see like how much current 250 LEDs use. You might be all right with your 18 amp.
Yeah. I was just doing the kind of the filling wisdom of 20 milliamps per LED, so 60 per. And then doing the math.
Hashtag
So.
future-proof, Billy, right?
I'm with Billy. More power, more better.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility for me to have overspec'd the power supply. I mean,
Well, it opens up possibilities.
yeah.
I mean,
That's
you
right.
do cover yourself because I think in the guide you state you want clean power,
Yeah.
for the
Oh,
best
yeah.
performance. So I think you're spot on, Chris.
So you are pushing for a solar panel Christmas tree for 2021?
Not in like sunny England in December.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, by the
Pacific
time
Northwest is
you have
out
the
too.
Christmas tree
Not
on, it's
happening.
dark anyway.
Maybe in Barcelona, Mark, you can make that happen.
Yeah, exactly.
There you
That
go.
could happen. Yeah. All right. Anything? I don't know if there are questions or comments that we should talk, because we are a little bit out of our timing. Actually, I had some. Yeah, I wanted to run something like this because I think you built some amazing stuff. We
You
didn't
did.
see. Well, we saw some of these, but backstage today.
Hey,
Right, Chris?
A little bit.
and some snow.
Oh,
Right
wow.
on.
Yes.
Steamed hams.
thank you all. Thanks for the tree jaying. My eyesight will probably come back at some point today. But I appreciate the festivity, the festiveness.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Adam, Billy. Andrew,
Yeah.
nice to see you again here on the stream.
For
Thanks
sure.
so much for having me. And pull requests welcome. I think
Yeah.
2020 is the year of doing software updates on your tree, so send me some animations.
There we go.
Yeah, and leave the memories on the tree, right?
Yeah.
All right, so just wrapping up, what we saw today, it's, if you want to know more about Balena organizations, go to the Balena blog or just create an account on Balena Cloud. We, a developer from the community released the Go library to play with the Balena API with Go. So if you like Golang, Adam, Billy, feel free to search this Go library that another developer just released yesterday. There are new app applications for Christmas, so don't forget to go there. And we will do some stop for Christmas. So in 2 weeks, there will not be IoT Happy Hour, but we will get back the 8th of January with Etcher PRO. So we will, so 5th of January, actually, the Etcher PRO shop will accept pre-orders. So if you, I don't know if you know what's Etcher PRO, Adam, Billy? You know Etcher? So it's a really nice machine to flash 15 SD cards at the same time.
You know what? Now that you mention it, I did see that just in the last couple days.
So
that's awesome.
You need that.
In another, I've got. I don't know if anyone's seen Adam. You must have, if you have armies of pies. The acrylic case. I am so struggling right now to remember who makes it. Anyway, it's just a cluster of 5 pies. It's got a switch and a power supply in there, and it's a nice little acrylic case. And I've been running Kubernetes on it for a while. And oftentimes I'm like, man, I got to burn 5 new SDs right now, and I've just got to feed them through my. So when I saw this, I thought, man, I could do 3 clusters at once.
There you go.
So 5th of January, you will be ready to pre-order your Balena.
Yep. Start
Etcher
saving
PRO.
your monies up.
Very cool.
Exactly. And have a good Christmas, have a good New Year Eve, and see you next year. I don't know if
Happy
you want to
holidays,
say goodbye.
Awesome.
Yourselves.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Chris, so much, and the whole balena team. Great stuff, man. Super excited about it.
All right, have a good weekend. Be safe.
Ciao.
Bye.
See ya.